Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where entrepreneurs and professionals publish to grow their businesses and to leave a legacy. We're doing a series of interview spotlights with remarkable business owners and professionals across the country and even in your town. So joining me on this segment is Maryann Ehmann from Magnificent Love Coaching, a mindset and business coaching program. She's based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Maryann, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Magnificent Love Coaching and the types of folks that you specialize in working with.
Sure. Well, first of all, Magnificent Love Coaching, the name itself comes from a spiritual encounter that I had about 4 years ago after my husband was diagnosed with fourth stage melanoma in his brain. So he had brain cancer, and I'm the primary breadwinner, and I just flipped out. It was almost like, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue to pull in the money, do the work I do when I want to take care of him 24/7? And so I had a meltdown. I call it my money meltdown, because we were quite secure that he was going to get healed. Well, in the process of it all, I discovered that the answer to everything, whether it's bringing in money, whether it's energy levels, whether it's joy or manifesting miracles, it's all about the love. And so Magnificent Love was the name changed. I was a different brand before that, but that became my new brand about 4 years ago. So this is what I do. I actually guide. I don't like to say coaching, actually, because I'm more of a guide. I guide world-changing entrepreneurs and professionals, people who have, a dream in their heart, a big mission, big heart, and I help them to expand their manifesting superpowers so they can lead exhilarating lives of freedom, fulfillment, and joy. Yeah, so that's it.
So with your name change especially, you must attract a very specific type of entrepreneur or professional looking for something very different and very unique. What are the specifically, can you give us examples of the types of businesses that know that they need your help?
Yeah, sure. A couple of my, you're going to edit this, right?
We're just rolling as if live.
Oh, we're not live.
Correct.
Oh, all right.
We're
cool.
pre-recorded.
All right. Awesome. All right. So some of my favorite clients, all my clients are my favorite clients, but some of the ones that I love to talk about is one is a doctor. And so I do work with professionals, CPAs, doctors, therapists, sales professionals, people like that. So this one particular gentleman is a doctor, and he's very high up, prominent in his field. And one of the reasons he came to me was because he wanted to get out of the grind of the daily practice. He was the director of a medical clinic. And so that was a job he did well, but the life-sucking energy of, employee drama and management was just not his thing. And he had big dreams. He was also a professor, so not associate, but a professor at the local, very prominent medical school. So between that and what he wanted to do, we had to figure out a way to get him out of this practice and into doing what it is he really wanted to do, which was be in the media, be a spokesperson, write a book that was had a real publisher, not self-published, and have a concierge health program. And so with that, there are a lot of different things that had to take place, not the least of which was mindset and emotional resistance to doing all that. A lot of professions get into the charging dollars for hours, or there's only set fees, or when you think about it, they are only used to taking insurance. So they're very limited in their thinking and their expectations of what it is they can accomplish. So for him, he was attracted to me, I think, because I do carry a different energy. And that energy may be kind of intriguing and inviting, but it's also a little like, what is this, And so people a lot of times just want to reach out and have conversations with me and to tell me what their dreams and their desires are. And then if I feel like they're a good fit and I really can help them get to where they want to go, then I'll invite them to have a deeper conversation with me. So what he's doing now is he's out of that medical practice. He's out of any employee kinds of practices except for his teaching. And he is now in the media. His concerns of how is this going to happen? Where's the money going to come from? That has all been taken care of. He's got benefactors. His website is all up beautiful. He's a spokesman. He does videos now. He has a health practice where people are now paying him outside of the insurance format, you say. And on top of it, he found the woman of his dreams. He had been single for 20 years and found the woman of his dreams, and they just got married.
Wow, that is a wonderful story. It sounds like he came to you with like very specific thoughts and desires, but then you ended up uncovering a lot of other opportunities and things that he had that he didn't even realize.
Absolutely. You see, when this is what I've discovered over the years is that when we actually discover our heart's desire, whatever it's for, whether it's in business or in life, when we tap into that, we honor our heart's desire, it comes prepackaged with all the fuel and the means, the resources, everything that you need. But we also had to uncover, clear away the clutter, the mental clutter, the emotional clutter, all the reasons why it can't happen, so that we could get into the realm of possibility and start really embracing that. And then basically, it's almost magical. Things just start opening up.
Right on. My audience is especially interested in how this recent pandemic has been affecting businesses across the country. And of course, we haven't spoken about coaching businesses. What have you seen? Have more folks reached out to you? Are the conversations different? What have you experienced now in light of these crazy times?
Well, that's a really good question. I even wondered for myself how it was going to affect my coaching business. Would my clients continue to retain me? Because I'm on a retainer with most of them. And in fact, my business has actually expanded. I've gotten more new clients who are. I think it's caused people to look at their lives and say, I don't want to live this way. I want to do more. I can do more. I'm not going to let what's happening in politics or the economy or the environment, I'm not going to let that stop me anymore. So there's almost the people that I attract are almost like a new awakening to who they are and what they want in life. And I think the pandemic has caused them to step back a little bit and to really assess at a deeper level than they ever have before. So it's actually helped my clients in the work they're doing as well as me.
Can you give us an example? And it might sound like a broad question, but what are like some of the most common concerns that you hear from clients over and over when they first reach out to you? And is there anything surprising with what they discover?
There's always surprising things because they're having to shift paradigms and perspectives. So they're seeing things that they didn't see before. And that's always, and I think many of us coaches are addicted to the ahas, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'll take another example. So one of the women that I work with is a high-level sales professional. She actually sells millions of dollars worth of programs, coaching programs, actually, to the clientele that come to her. So she doesn't get the leads. Her coaching company that she works for actually coaches, actually brings the leads in. When I met her, she was actually a person who was very good at what she did and did it for a long time. But she was experiencing so much stress. And I think that's what a lot of these high level professionals deal with. It's a lot of stress. There's no time for doing anything in life. They have these quotas to meet, these deadlines to meet. They have people breathing down their neck a lot of times. And even if they're entrepreneurs, they have their own internal breathing down their neck and bills to pay and so forth. So however many clients they have or leads they have, it oftentimes in their minds isn't enough. They're not enough. they can't do it all. They're too stressed out, right? So she came to me because she was struggling in her numbers. She was doing well, but struggling in her numbers. Well, what I discovered after just a couple calls with her was there was some emotional trauma related to her father that she transferred over to her boss. So, why her boss in a relationship, she was always getting triggered in that relationship, was unconsciously, he was reminding her of her father. So there was never enough, she could never do enough to please him, all of these things. So we had to really clear away and heal that heart wound. And so that she could be free to have her own motivation for achieving what she wanted to achieve, not somebody else's motivation, not even the company motivation. It had to come from her own heart, her own desire, her own goals, right? And once she did that, she started opening more and more and more. Now she is their top salespeople. They have added more salespeople, and she is the leader of the team. And her results have actually tripled.
That sounds like a real surprise discovery in that conversation. Maryann, how did you get started in coaching and what inspired you to get started? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I actually have had this gift, and it's wisdom and intuition and comfort. So that combination of intuition, wisdom, and comfort, I've had my whole life. I just didn't recognize it as something. I thought my parents relied on me when I was growing up. We had 6 children, and they had a very rocky marriage that ended up in divorce. And they counted on me to keep the peace in the home and to exercise rational, sensible wisdom. So I had a training ground, right? And as time went on, I became a teacher because I love teaching, but that wasn't fulfilling enough for me. And I went on to become a lawyer. And so as a lawyer, my first job was as a prosecuting attorney working for the state of Connecticut. And doing that, I came to terms with I don't want to put away bad guys. I actually have a greater dream, and that was really helping people fulfill their financial goals. In law school, I discovered my passion for finances, investments, and taxes. And I hated criminal law. So that I would be in a profession where it's focused on criminal law was a real disconnect for me. So after that, during that time, actually, as prosecutor, I had a spiritual encounter. I was an atheist, and I had a spiritual encounter with God as love, and it changed my whole world. It gave me confidence and courage, and I left that job and I went after my dreams. And so while I was pursuing my dreams and I was doing very well, I was an award-winning salesperson, all of this stuff from my childhood erupted, things I hadn't dealt with yet, and I couldn't figure out what was getting in my way. And then fear of rejection, fear of abuse, being taken advantage of. As you can see, I'm Asian, being raised in an all-white culture. My mother was from Hawaii, I'm from Hawaii, and we actually grew up in Rochester, New York. My dad's Italian and Polish. So I felt like an oddball. I was constantly getting bullied and sometimes beat up for the way I looked. And so I was always trying to prove myself and be better and be what people wanted me to be. And all of that caught up with me. And so I went through the spiritual awakening and my life changed. So since then, I've always had this spiritual purpose, this connection and awareness of God and the need to connect with God. And as at times when I've drifted away from that, I get into trouble. And even while I was working for this corporation, which I really won't name, but I had to be a whistleblower because there was so much greed and grand theft in the business part of the team. I was part of the team. I knew about it. And I was not able to go along with it all. So I had to, when it was called upon, I didn't volunteer it, but when I was called upon, I had to expose it. And it was horrible. It was the worst experience in my life. I had hair falling out. I got anemic. It was terrible. But I learned then that there has to be a way to have this love, value system, spirituality, and have the ability to prosper, make money, get promoted, and serve people at the same time. So it's been a lifelong quest, actually. And now 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I actually stepped out and I decided that's what I'm doing. I am going to be coaching people using my legal skills, my business skills, my spiritual skills. I study neuroscience and quantum physics, all of it to bring together this experience so people can actually be who they're meant to be, live their fullest expression of themselves.
That is an incredibly inspiring story, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us because I'll tell you, you're like a shining example of your own work. So, how do folks that really resonate with your message in my audience? How do they connect with you and work with you?
Well, let me just give my email address. I think that's the easiest way. They can go to my website, but I think if they really want to have a dialogue with me, they can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn, any of those things, the best way to get a hold of me. And I'm going to even give you my texting number, my phone number, all right, that they
Sure.
can text me because I don't really believe in going through hoops in order to get to a person. You know, if they're right and I'm right for them, we'll know. So they can go to MaryanNAhmann.com to just check me out a little bit more. And that's MaryanNEhmann.com or Maryann at MaryanNAhmann.com or same name under Facebook and LinkedIn. Or here's my texting 585-406-5726. And I'm happy to have a conversation with them. I know this is not for everybody, but I know there are people out there that this is exactly what they're looking for.
Maryann, this has been terrific. I really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about your work. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for having me. It's been very, very enjoyable myself.
Maryann Ehmann from Magnificent Love Coaching, Mindset and Business Coaching. This segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where professionals and entrepreneurs publish to grow their businesses and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. Join me next time on my next Expert Spotlight. I'm Mark Imperial.